All right, darlings, yesterday I went to the gym and got to move my body a little bit. Walked on the incline for about 45 minutes and I felt so much better afterwards. One of the things that I really, truly, firmly believe is that taking care of your basic needs is one way to catapult you into living in alignment with everything else in your life. How much water are you drinking? What type of food are you putting in your body on a regular basis? What are you nourishing your mind with, your spirit with? Do you meditate? Do you go within? Do you push your feelings down, or do you feel through them and process them so that way they're not getting stuck in your body and causing all this pain and wreaking havoc and showing up as dis-ease in the body? Um, how are you taking care of yourself? Or are you not taking care of yourself and taking care of everyone else first? I am a recovering reformer, um, you know, people pleaser in a sense. I never thought that I was until I realized that I learned how to put my own needs aside in order to care for others, because if I didn't feel that I was useful, that people wouldn't love me. That if I couldn't solve a problem, people wouldn't love me. They wouldn't respect me. They wouldn't need me, and they would toss me aside and throw me away. And then what? And then I got into, spiritual stuff. I got into astrology, human design. Always been into astrology, but human design, I learned I'm a projector. And projectors are meant to guide other people on how to use their energy best. And to provide insights, to coach you, to ask the questions. And every projector is different, but my flavor is that I ask questions that will cause you to reflect on your current behavior and your thoughts and your habits. And I do this for myself. Like, there was a time in my life where I was drinking 1.5 to 2 gallons of water a day. I was working out 6 days a week. I felt really good in my body. But I was also working two jobs. I was working a full-time job and delivering Grubhub food on the side. And I was burnt out. I didn't realize how burnt out I was until I got laid off from my last job in June of 2023, and everything stopped. And I kept trying to run in circles, in the same circles that I had been running in for over a decade. And I realized that that was not the way for me. Like, that's not how my energy runs. Like, it's very important for me to take care of myself, to, yes, push yourself past your edge, but also don't run on fumes. Like, I used to have chronic migraines, sinuses, like allergies, just feeling depleted. Like, I don't know how I functioned. I used to wake up with migraine headaches and still have to go to work and do brain work and function, and I don't know how I did it. Once we got to be able to start working from home, from the pandemic, all of a sudden my migraines started to go away when I had the ability to not go in all the time. I learned that my energy picks up on a lot of things that I don't even realize. And because I'm such a resilient being and I was raised to be a strong, independent woman, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? I was raised by beautifully strong women. Um, However, the downside of that can be not asking for help whenever you actually need it, because you feel that you have to do it all on your own, and that if you ask for help, that someone is going to look down on you, or that how can you help other people if you can't help yourself, type of energy. And then feeling like you're going to be found out as this imposter. Like, I have all these answers, I have all these ideas, I have all of these, you know, things. But I was told by an ex-friend of mine, like, oh, well, you're not doing all the things that you're telling me to do, so why should I do them? Sometimes it doesn't matter if the person is actually taking the action. The idea is still in alignment, and it will still work, and it will still help you, because we're all dealing with our own internal programming, beliefs, identities that can keep us stuck in a loop. We're never stuck, but those things can make us feel like we are stuck and that we have no way out. Um, and today I've woken up in just such a place where I've never been here before. I'm terrified of what's going to happen in my life in the next week, right? 2 weeks. And really, I don't share that with anybody. I don't share that with people. I keep everything very close to the chest. I'm a very private person. I'm a Scorpio. Um, My own family doesn't even really know me. And that's not to blame anybody and not being a victim here. It's just that's what it is. I don't feel like people, some people in my life really know me, but that's because maybe I haven't allowed them in, because being afraid that somebody will use your vulnerabilities against you. I remember having those thoughts with men whenever I was growing up too, and I'm like, oh, I can't be too vulnerable because you'll use my insecurities and my vulnerabilities against me and you'll manipulate me. Well, I got manipulated anyway. Funny how that works. But I just wanted to share this because I know that I'm not the only one who's going through these things right now. I know a lot of my people in my circle are going through some really difficult and challenging times as well. And I have this dream, this vision of, again, like my friends tell me all the time, what would I do without you? Thank you for helping me see myself. Thank you for helping me learn about me. Thank you for helping me understand that there is another way. Thank you for providing another perspective. And also, thank you for helping me reflect on the things that I've been avoiding, as uncomfortable as it may be. And I'm doing the work myself, and it can be really challenging on your own. But another dream is just I have this community that I'm building to help people take care of themselves. Once you take care of your basic needs, everything starts to shift. So to go back, that time when I was working out 6 days a week and drinking 1.5 to 2 gallons of water, um, and most of my needs were being met. I had just started the spiritual awakening later, but you know, when when I've drank my water, when I've eaten the foods that my body feels good with, when I get enough sleep, when I take breaks, when I honor what my body is asking me for, everything shifts. My mindset shifts with that too. Um, so, my darlings, I just wanted to share a little bit about me and my story, and hope that this helps somebody else realize that you're not alone. It's okay to ask for help. It's one of my biggest lessons I'm learning right now is how to ask for help. And I've always told people, if you ever see me crying on social media, something is really wrong. So I'm getting a little emotional because asking for help has been something that has been a huge, huge struggle my entire life. Um, but we all deserve to receive help. I always tell people all the time, ask your spiritual team for help if you don't ask anybody else. And sometimes I don't even ask God for help. Has anybody else not asked God for help? You haven't prayed because you feel that you're not deserving or you're not worthy, because there's people in the world that are going through things that are much worse than what you're going through. Um, the self-doubt can be crippling. The self-view and self-concept is what can keep you in that cycle. I have been changing my self-view and my self-concept every single day. Some days are easier than others. Some days I'm at an emotional high. Some days I'm at an emotional low. Again, human design, emotional projector. My feelings are just what they are. It doesn't have to be because of anything. They go up, they go down, we ride the wave. And we learn how to take care of ourselves in that process of riding the wave. So being gentle with myself versus being rude and mean and speaking so poorly to me that I would never speak to anybody else like that, how I've spoken to me in my life. Like, I would never say these things to my best friends. I would never say these things to anybody that I loved, but I was saying them to me. And I know that language is really important, and one of the ways that we can start this is by beginning to be kinder to ourselves, beginning to give ourselves compassion and grace, and by treating ourselves as someone that we love. If we can love everyone outside of us, why can't we love ourselves first? Louise Hay is the one who said it best. Like, she believes that everything stems down to learning how to love yourself. And a lot of us don't know how to love ourselves properly. We love ourselves in the way that we've been taught. And yeah, it's just a lot. And I know I can talk for days, and I've been feeling like I'm a terrible storyteller my whole life, saying, oh, I tell stories like my grandpa. I'll go down these rabbit holes, and sometimes I forget where we're going. But the more that I've started to shift my mindset, the more that has started to change too. So anyway, I'm just here to share my story, to tell y'all that, I mean, there's more to it, but so that you're not the only one, and you deserve to have support. You deserve to have help. You are worthy of stepping into your dreams. I read the signs and the synchronicities also. Like I'm a I'm not gonna say I'm quite a psych. There's different levels of psychics and mediums and things like that. But I'm definitely a spiritual guide. I read the patterns. I've been fighting the belief that I don't predict because of all of the stigmas that have been placed out there around predictions and psychics. And I, in fact, do predict. I'm just going to claim that now. There's things that I do predict, and it's like, oh, wow. So learning how to trust myself along this journey has been a challenge. And I know a lot of us can question if we're being led in the right direction because no one outside of us has validated our belief in ourselves. But it's time for you to validate the belief in yourself. You can view yourself as the observer and validate you. And for projectors, my dear projectors, it's so important that you acknowledge yourself. The moments when I am in my fullness of knowing the beautiful divine being that I am and what I have to offer this world, I can see the shifts. I get appointments, I get consultations, I get, you know, the world is like, hey, yeah, you believe that about you. The universe is like, yeah. So we're going to reinforce that belief by showing you that you are worthy because you believe that you are. And let's show you just how worthy. Let's show you just how gifted, how brilliant, how amazing you are. And the more that I believe that in myself, the more that it shows up. So yeah, while I'm navigating through an emotional low today, I will be loving on myself and also doing what needs to be done in order to get where it is that I desire to be and posting the content. It's recording this 12-minute video to share a little bit inside of my world because apparently a lot of people don't really know. And I didn't realize how many of my friends were like, oh, wow, you've been really opening up. Like you've never opened up this much. And that's a testament to my growth, to my shifts, to my change, that I am safe. There are people who love and care about me who will listen and won't use my vulnerabilities against me. And I believe that for anyone out there too who is feeling really, really alone, because the more that we perpetuate the thought of that I am alone, nobody cares about me, nobody can help me, nobody can meet me, I have nowhere to go, the more and more that we pound that into our subconscious, the more the world is going to show us that that is that's what we're attracting to us. So how can you show up for yourself today? How can you love on you? How much water have you drank? What kind of food do you plan to eat? How can you move your body, even if it's just stretching or walking outside for, I don't know, 5 minutes? Even get in nature, learning how to regulate your nervous system. I have so many tools, and even I sometimes forget whenever I get caught up in an emotional whirlwind. Again, you are not alone. Talk to God, Spirit, angels, universe. I don't know, whatever you believe in. That's what my faith is. I was raised Catholic. I do not subscribe to the Catholic way of doing things anymore, but I've always believed in God, Spirit, universe. I just believe it can go by many names, the divine creator being, the Most High. But we were all put on this world for a reason, and I believe my reason was to help not only guide others, but to guide myself into really learning how to take care of me, to speak and express myself authentically, to change the voice that lives inside of my head, to work with my inner critic so she can become my biggest supporter, and really only point out things from an observer standpoint of, hey, let's look at this and see, is this really the best idea? Not because of doubting that the idea will work, but because there's actually something logistical that doesn't align. Noticing when we're out of alignment and really beginning to learn how to move forward. So, yeah, my darlings, I'm gonna post this. I'm not even gonna watch it. I'm just gonna post it. And, if this helps you, I'm really grateful. Even if it just helps one person, that's all that matters. And honestly, it's not even that's all that matters. We all deserve to share. And some of us are meant to share in different ways. And yeah, stepping into what my charts read about how I meant to show up in this world has been terrifying. And this is one of those ways. So, my darling, I think I'm going to start doing, following my life journey. And at first I was like, who wants to hear about that? But there's other people that are like me in some way, shape, and form that have faced obstacles that they don't know how they're going to come back from. And it doesn't have to be something that is a highly physically or mentally traumatic event, right? We can all benefit from community, and we all have feelings. We all have ways that we were taught to be that are still running out today, even though they don't serve us. But we're not here to compare trauma. We're not here to compare what I'm going through versus what you're going through. Everybody's going through something, and we all deserve to feel loved, cared for, and it starts with us. It starts with you, darling. So anyway, I love you. I do, and just because I do run a business. Personal plug, I do readings, tarot, oracle card, human design, astrology. I help you with your inner concept, with your self-talk as a spiritual life coach. I help with accountability, and things of that nature, and just really bringing you back home to the divinely created being that you are, and releasing the conditioning that has taught you otherwise. I want you to understand that you also deserve a standing ovation for the gifts that you bring and the energy that you are in this world. So let's discover who that being is. And listen, all coaches have a coach. All healers have a healer. I go see people who help me with things within my body too, and within my mind as well. So all therapists have a therapist. All doctors have a doctor, so on and so forth. But if you're curious about services or getting in contact with me, solunametanoia.com is my landing page for coaching. paperbell.me/solunametanoia is where you can find all of my services. But I love you, and I love me, and you're going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. Let's do it together. We don't have to do it alone. Love you.